Two humorous nurses would like to acknowledge the true custodians of the land in which we record our podcast, the Yorta Yorta people.
We pay our respects to elders past and present and extend our respects to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders listening today. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land.
Two humorous nurses with Kelly and Alisha.
Debrief time!
Debrief time, Kelly and Alisha.
Oh, wow. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
So we had a little month off and we pre-recorded a couple episodes, so we're super organised, and now we're not.
Yeah, so true. I feel like it went so quick. I couldn't believe it when you're like, oh, I'm coming home. I'm like, what? How has it been that long?
Yeah, I know. I was in in Perth for like 3 and a bit weeks, or 3 weeks, I suppose. Just living my best life. And yeah.
I feel like you really needed to get away. Like you've had a massive, massive year already, and it's only been 9 months. You know?
I know. Yeah, I definitely needed to go. And it was so good. Like on the last day, I literally just like redirected my emails for work, and then I stopped thinking about it. And they only contacted me a couple of times for like quick little things, which was no problem. And just
That's
got
so
on that
nice.
plane and went over there and hung out with my mates and put a few holes in my body and tattooed us. And
Did you get your earring?
yeah, I got 2. So
how did I not know this?
I don't know. I said to my friend, I went to my best friend's house and we went down to Hillary's boat harbour for dinner, and we saw the tattoo shop down there and they do piercings. And I was like, right, tomorrow morning we'll just come down here, and if he can pierce my ears, we'll get my ears pierced. And if he can't, we'll just go get Sancheros. She's like, can we get Sancheros anyway? And I was like, absolutely. So we went down the next day, and I was like, I walk in and this guy just goes, he's like, home girl, how are you, homie? And I was like, fine. Could you pierce my ears? And like, I just got 2 little ones at the top of I don't even know what it's called, at the top of my ear.
Mm.
And he's like, yeah, no worries, home girl, have a seat. And I was like, oh my God, this is so weird. And my best friend is like, she was dressed like real preppy, like jeans and a t-shirt and like real casual, like her hair's all beautiful grey and like she just, very plain. And I'm like in my Friday dress with my Guns N' Roses t-shirt and all my tattoos and like... Anyway, he's like, I lied because he's like, have you had something to eat in the last 4 hours? I was like, yeah. I hadn't. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to faint. Anyway, it didn't hurt as bad as I thought it was going to hurt. It wasn't pleasant, but yeah. So now I have like 2 little black things. That is still...
I didn't see them.
It's like a month. Oh my God, it's so sore still.
Really?
Yeah, I suppose it's cartilage.
Mm.
Anyway.
And you've got another tattoo to add to the collection.
Yeah, I got a couple of mushrooms, some shrooms.
It was so funny when you and I had lunch the other day and I'm sitting there, I'm like, how have I never noticed those mushrooms on your arm before? Like I sit across from you so often and I'm looking at them and I'm like, oh, hang on. They're new, that's why I've never seen them.
Yeah, Jess did the same thing actually. No, because I wanted to get another tattoo by my Perth lady, Fizz Inc., who's done my whole other sleeve, but like she's too good, so she's like booked out,
of course,
like for the rest of the year. And I'd messaged her and I said, you got any cancellations, you ring me, I'll be there in like 2 minutes. Anyway, her other one of the other girls that works for her, Alisha, I really like her style. She does lots of black and grey, and she opened her books. Like they do booking days because they all get so busy. Gone are the days you can just walk in and get a tattoo. I mean, a good one. You could probably walk in somewhere and get a shit one. And and so I did the booking sheet and I was like, I'm only available on these 2 days because it was like literally at the end of my trip. After a bit of backwards and forwardsing, we managed to do it, but I'm too old. I had to lay, because it's on the back of my forearm. I had to lay on the table with my arm bent backwards, and my elbow is still fucked from it. Like I'm just, you're too old when you can't sit for like a long period of time.
Oh, you're so funny. So how are you feeling now that you're back?
Oh, like I've never had a holiday. No.
Was it hard to get back on the plane to come home?
Nah, I think 3 weeks away is always more than enough, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's massive.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever been away anywhere for 3 weeks.
Amelia was ready to come home and like go back to school, and she was ready to see Cam, and yeah, we were ready to come.
Well, that's good. I was worried that you're going to be like, oh, I think we're going to extend for a bit. Oh, I think we might extend another week.
I wanted to extend another week, but that was just because I wanted to be home here so I could put my Christmas trees up. I know. Speaking of tattoos, though, I have that stupid nursing one that I got keeps getting trolled on Facebook.
It haunts me everywhere I go. This tattoo of you, your what is it? Temperature, pulse, sats,
blood pressure. No sats. That's the problem, isn't it?
It's so funny, and no one ever credits you. I think that is just a disgrace.
I know. And then even when you tag them in there to say, like, this is my photo,
they still don't do it.
They still don't credit me. So anyway,
they're probably like, you should be embarrassed to own up to that.
I know. That's what they wrote. They were like, I don't know whether to, like, this is cringe or not. I'm like, it's just a bit of fun. Do you know
exactly? It's not like you take it so seriously. It's not like you've got some like stethoscope love heart on you. Like it's actually kind of, it's like almost ironic, this tattoo. Like
it is. And you know what's so ironic is that I don't write it. I don't write anything on that. I still write it on my hand. I've literally never used it.
I should get a to-do list somewhere, like on my body, and then like
our friend has a to-do list written on his top of his hand. It just says to do. Yeah.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah.
That's funny. My vibe, totally.
That. Yeah. What's been happening with you while I was away?
Well, I've been doing some work in clinical education, and I've been working way too much. Like I'm only contracted to 0.4.
Yeah.
Which has been great. I've been loving that. And then it was like, oh, can you do some extra days here? Okay. Oh, can you do some more? Oh, okay. Oh, can you do some more? Oh, okay. How long is this going to go for? I'm like, I'm really enjoying it, but I also feel like when I work in education, I'm working 3 jobs over 0.6, 0.7. And it's just a bit much. Like, and I feel like I can't be effective in any area because like genuinely effective.
Yeah, because you're
especially on the ward, because I'm only on the ward 0.2 a fortnight, like 2 shifts a fortnight, and I don't feel like I don't think I'm able to be effective. Like maybe directly with my patients, or you just feel like you spend your whole shift getting up to speed, and even then, like we've had changes with pharmacy, and we've had like changes with our medical model, and like it's just there's a lot that you've got to get your head around in 8 hours, and then you go home. And I'm like, oh, well, I got to do all that again in 2 weeks because I'm not back for, 10 days or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just a bit, I don't know.
You need one or the other.
I do. And I've kind of said that to the education team. Like I absolutely love working in there. And I feel like I could make a difference, more so if I stepped away from clinic. Like it's still clinical work. Like you're doing clinical support, of course. But also doing a lot of like policy and procedure development and like, delivering in services and education. And I don't know. I feel like I could be more directly influential than just as an ANUM. Yeah. Because as an ANUM, you're just so busy. Like you don't have time to coach and teach and mentor and support.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's what I really enjoy that. And yeah, so I feel like, and it's actually shown me how naturally disorganized I am. Like I was talking to one of the other clinical support nurses who is like mega organized. Like she gets to work. She knows exactly how many students are on the ward, like what their shifts are, what their names are. I can't even get their fucking names right. and she knows like where every grad is, what they're up to, like what's going on in their personal lives, like how they're going with their rotation. Like she knows everything. And I'm like, okay, you've set the bar really fucking high. How am I ever going to get a job in here? If there's no way I could do that. I literally would have to. I would have to be checking the calendar every morning because I know that shit just does not go in my brain. Yeah, just talking with her really made me. I've really reflected, and I've been like, why is organisation so hard for me? And I really do believe it's something I've had to learn as an ANUM. Like being organised is so important. Like. And even then, still people will come in and go, God, this place is a mess. I'm like, oh, yeah, I've been trying to clean up all morning. No, I've been making all that mess. Like, that's me, my mess. Yeah, it's funny. Like, it's really given me a lot of things to think about. And I still feel like because it's been raining so much here lately, I'm like, oh, well, when it rains, Mick comes home and that means I can go to work. Like, I'm always thinking, when can I go to work? I'd love to go to work. Which is weird because I do love being at home with Ollie, but when it rains, we just play Lego and I get a bit sick of that.
Yeah. Too funny. I mean, you probably haven't been watching any shitty reality TV then.
Oh, I've been watching The Block.
Oh, The Block sucks.
Oh, and I watched The Block sucks. It does kind of suck. I do fucking hate it, but I like some parts of it. But I did watch Australia's like Drag Race Down Under. I finished that. And I was pretty happy.
I got bored. So I haven't finished that. I think I've only watched 3 episodes of it.
I think it was you didn't watch it. I actually quite enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than last season. And I watched Canada's Drag Race and I was really happy with the winner. You know, sometimes you think...
I haven't watched that.
Sometimes I think RuPaul's just going to pick... Like, it sounds really racist in a weird way. But I think RuPaul is, like, biased. But that's okay. But so you always kind of think you know who she's going to pick. But I was really happy with the Australian one that Spanky Jackson won because I felt like Queen Kong probably wasn't as... Like, it didn't fit the bill as much as Spanky did.
I'm glad that she won. I liked them.
Yeah, I think, But and Canada's Drag Race, I definitely think that Giselle Lullaby deserved to win. Spoiler, soz.
Oh, yeah, I haven't even watched that. I'd probably watch that. Not anymore.
Well, it's really good. No, I really like it.
I started watching the new season of Kardashians.
Oh, you didn't.
On the way home on the plane. And the first episode's all about how Chloe's cheating, Tristan cheating on Chloe.
Right.
And I have never, I was sobbing on the plane and I was so embarrassed because it's so sad. Like that poor bitch, she found out literally 48 hours before she gave birth to True that he cheated on her and she still had him in the birthing suite. Wow. This news breaks that he's cheated on her again and he's having a child with this other person. And Kim goes to her, if this isn't a sign not to have another baby with him, then I don't know what is. But they had just put an embryo created from IVF into a surrogate. So now she's had another child with him. Oh. And that whole news was like, that whole pregnancy was tainted by his cheating scandal again.
Gosh.
Like that poor bitch is like, I mean, the Kardashians are trash. We know that. But like that poor bitch has had the roughest trot with her husbands. Like, and I just think having a baby is such a special time. And both times it's been ruined by
That's
this.
Awful.
Like, and I was like sobbing on the plane because Chloe's my favorite.
I would too. Yeah, Chloe's my favorite.
And I wondered why she was looking so fucking skinny lately. I'm like, yeah, no wonder. She's probably like so stressed and just, you know, not eating and working out. Anyway, but that's fine. And have you watched Dharma?
Dharma? Oh, Jeffrey Dahmer. No, Nick and I are saving it so that we can watch it together because but I'm a bit concerned. I know kind of what happens because I've seen like other docos that have talked about him. And I don't know because I still can't bring myself to watch Handmaid's Tale again. And
I can't wait to start that. I'm waiting for a few episodes so I can binge.
It really affected me so heavily.
Yeah, psychologically damaging.
Yeah. And so I want to watch Dharma with Mick.
Yeah, I said the same thing to Cam. I don't want to watch it by myself. I watched the shorts with my dad and I was like, I don't know if I can watch this. I'm also very torn between the fact I'm torn between the this whole, like, I love true crime, like we love true crime, like we do Nurses Who Kill, and I'm really torn between that whole putting all the emphasis on the perpetrator and not the victims. And I have heard that the victims of Dharma actually weren't consulted, but one of them said it looks exactly like me. Like she was wearing the exact same clothes, and she said the exact same words that from when she was on trial or in the media or whatever. And and she said we were never consulted by Netflix. We've not seen any money from Netflix.
That's bad.
So there's a little part of me that thinks like we never think about the victims in these true crime scenarios. Like we only ever we celebrate, or not celebrate, but we make these perpetrators like celebrities.
We give them attention, yeah.
I think, and there's a little part of me about that too. I mean, I will watch it, but I'm gonna have to mentally prepare myself, I think, because there's a lot of cannibalism with him.
Yeah, I think he mostly kill men.
Yeah, gay, homosexual, yeah.
Yeah, so that's, I think for some reason, like for me, when things, I mean, I can see why, but when things happen to women specifically, like it makes me more angry and I get more upset and more like hurt.
But these are very vulnerable men that he attacked as well. Like, again, it's a vulnerable subculture of
absolutely,
black gay men. Like, but I get what you're saying, and I think
that's why Handmaid's Tale affects me so much, because it's specific to women. You can see
it happening. It's that patriarchal, the men are the, you're only valuable if you can produce children.
Yeah. It's very conflicting and confronting, and I haven't watched it since I had Ollie, and I think that it may be, I don't know, and because
I think it's good though to know your limits of your, like, if it's going to affect your mental health, then don't watch it.
No, that's right. And I did really love the story, and I did really like, you love the characters, and then, but I think it was just affecting me too much. And like Mick, like I was fucking paranoid watching that show. Like, and even now sometimes, like today, I was doing something on my phone and I noticed there's a random green light that comes up in the corner now on my phone, and it looks like it has the picture of the camera, and then it sort of dissolves and turns to this green light. And I'm like, does this mean that they're watching us? Like, this is what my brain does. And I'm like, what is this green light? What is it doing? If I turn this off, does that mean my camera's still working? Like, what is, and I'm like literally spiraling, and I'm like, this is like what happens in sci-fi TV shows when, people can tap into people's phones and see what they're doing at home or see their location or see what they can see. I don't know. My brain's wrong. But yeah, I think I've started watching Stranger Things, which I've actually really fucking enjoyed. Like, and it hasn't traumatized me at all. Like, I really thought it was going to be super scary, because it's like, says that there's like horror themes. It must be rated R or something. I don't know.
I've never seen it.
It's brilliant. Like,
it's sci-fi though.
It's more sci-fi fantasy than anything.
Yeah, I hate sci-fi with a passion.
I love sci-fi.
I can't handle it.
Yeah. Well, even like The Fifth Element or something, like the action.
I've never
sci-fi.
seen it.
Oh my God, The Fifth Element's like one of my favorite movies.
When I was in Perth, I watched an amazing Australian drama on ABC called Savage River. It's actually filmed in Myrtleford and Bright, and it is.
That river is pretty savage. That goes. Yeah.
I wonder what it would be like at the moment.
Oh my God.
And it's just a six episode drama, like mini series. Oh my God, so good. Highly recommend. It's just about a small country town with a murder, and it's like I had many theories and none of them were correct. Like it was great. So good. My stepmom and I were watching it together, and then we had to watch the last episode separately, and she messaged and she's like, have you seen it? I was like, no, not yet, don't spoil it. And she's like, you'll never guess it. Anyway, and then when I watched it, I was like, oh my God. It was so good.
I love stuff like that. When you're really genuinely surprised.
Highly recommend.
Well, that's what happens in Stranger Things. Like, there are moments where you're like, no, what? Like, it's good. It's good.
That's funny. 100,000 downloads.
100,000 downloads.
That is 100,000,000,000.
I think it probably hasn't hit me really. Like, I think because we've seen it kind of sitting at that 97 or that 93 to 100,000 kind of went pretty quickly. But I feel like the 10,000 to me seems so much bigger. Like, I was so much more pumped about that. Like, I'm pumped about this, don't get me wrong, and I'm so fucking grateful. But it's like you get a little bit desensitized because you're like, I don't know, because I saw it in the 90s for so long, and then, you know, now it's happened. It's pretty exciting.
It wasn't in the 90s as long as it was in the like in the hundreds, though.
No, you're right.
We whizzed through that last 10K.
Yeah, you're right. We did. And I mean, it's. I think I get a bigger kick out of the monthly downloads. I think because I look at them like, I don't know. I've just seen them grow so.
Well, they haven't. They literally have not dropped. Oh, September dropped off because we didn't put any episodes out, but it didn't drop off that much. And then, like, literally, you know, every month this year has gotten more downloads than the last month. And it just blows my mind that people are still listening and that people are still finding us new.
I know.
They're like, I just found you yesterday. And I was like, did you? Where have you been? Like,
I love that, though. I feel like it keeps us, like, current, and it keeps us thinking about, like, and I love the feedback that we've been getting, and it really keeps us, like, inspired to keep going and knowing the stuff that people really love and really respond to, and it's also the stuff that you and I enjoy the most. So like, you know, the ridiculous topics and us just talking about our own experiences.
Sorry, I was just going to open Instagram to find a message and it's not on silent.
Sounded like it was Bridgerton or something.
No, it was just like a reel. Someone's reel. Yeah, I just think that I'm just trying to find one of the messages that we got the other day, which I really and everyone's sending us that NICU nurse killer.
Definitely going to be doing something on that in the next few weeks.
I've never been tagged so much. Yeah, see this one, we got it just the other day from Monica, and she said, "Hi, just wanted to say thank you for your podcast. I've only just discovered them recently and they're helping me get through a really shitty time through burnout. Thanks again. Look forward to future posts." And then she bought us some coffee.
I know. So nice.
I was like, oh my God, this is just so lovely.
It's brilliant. I really love I love, like, I love seeing the numbers go up and stuff, but more so I think I love the engagement from our listeners. Like, when they tag us in stuff, like, thought of you guys, I'm like, oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, that's what I like too. I mean, the numbers are fun, and you know, the fact that people are listening and our episodes are hitting 1,000 listens within a week is just mind-blowing to me now. And
so cool.
And I went back the other day and listened to our very first episode, like, Who Are We?
Really?
Just to see. Yeah, because because every month we have like, that's always in our top 10, that first episode. Yeah. And I thought, I wonder if it still reflects who we are, and should we do some kind of update?
Oh, and does it?
It truly does. Like, we talk about, like, I talk about how much I hate hearts, and you talk about your love of, like, teaching and how you don't really like your love of theatre, and, like, we talk about, and you drop so many fucking one-liners from TV shows that I just go straight over my head because I've never heard them, or I don't retain that information like you do. So it was so funny. I was like, oh my God, this is like exactly who we are, and it hasn't changed in the 2 years we've been doing it. And
I love that. Yeah. Well, when I was doing our submission for the Australian Podcast Awards last year, like, when I was, like, when we were going back and listening to, you know, some of those episodes, like, I love some of those early episodes. And I mean, I love our new stuff, but I feel like, you know, before we started the podcast, we sat down and we really nutted out, like, what are going to be some great big topics that are going to engage people right away. And those ones, that full moon and
nursing phenomena, the nursing intuition.
Yes. And, like, some of those episodes are just I don't know why, I just love them, like, and just the theory behind some of those ridiculous, like, concepts of everybody dropping their babies, you know, when the full moon happens. Or, exactly. Yeah. Exactly right. Like, I absolutely love that shit. I was actually on the way home because one of our friends' relative is like going through a really tough time mentally, and I listening back to our Nursing Your Mental Health episode, and I mean the audio's terrible.
Yeah.
But I'm just, reflecting on some of my own stuff, going through all that, and yeah, it's interesting. Like, and that episode is another really good one. Like, we talk about our own personal journeys, and there's so much love in this podcast, I think.
I know, so good. We're going to do a birthday episode soon because we're coming up to 2 years in a week.
Crazy.
And when I spent all the money on the podcast stuff at the start, my hubby was just like rolling his eyes because he's like, you never stick to anything.
Really?
Like, this will just be another one of those things. Yeah, because I'd never stick to anything. And
no, I'm like that too.
Anyway, like, fuck you. We have the best nursing podcast in Australia. So
crazy.
But and we've met some amazing people. So I think we'll talk about all of that in the birthday episode. And but this was just to catch up after our break, and we're back ready to hit the ground running. And we would have been recording in person today, except our whole community is flooding everywhere, and schools are shut and daycares are shut. So we're just hope everyone stays dry and stays safe throughout this period, because the footage that we're seeing is terrifying. I'm so glad I live somewhere that isn't likely to flood. But I feel like one of my workers has been home because her house is about to flood, and it's higher than the previous flood. So she's at home prepping, and they should have evacuated, but when local hospitals and nursing home, this week, the local hospital and nursing home from that community has had to evacuate. So it sort of hits you. Like, I've never been in a place that's ever flooded. Like, I've never been around this before. So
me neither.
Part of me really wants to go and have a look, and the other part of me is like, stay home, you idiot. Like, don't be on the roads if you don't have to. Like, but it's not raining. It hasn't rained much today, which is nice. I think we've had over 100 mil. Well, well over 100 mils here in the last couple of days. So anyway.
We did just have another little downpour during this episode, and now it's stopped.
Yeah.
So it might be a bit that way, but hopefully the water stays off our back door.
Yeah. And thanks to everyone that's listened. If you do want to buy us a coffee and show support for us, you just go to buymeacoffee.com /humorous nurses.
Follow us on Instagram.
Exactly.
At 2 Humorous Nurses Podcast.
And we will see you all soon. No, we won't. It's dumb.
And you didn't sound very excited when you said
that. I was ripping a piece of skin off my thumb. When you rip a piece and it keeps going up your finger, and I was like, wow. Okay.
And listen out for our next episode. And we'll be doing that Lucy Letby episode at some point in the next few weeks. So look out for that. And, Bye.